taken a lot of time to learn a few things about safe food handling and safe food practices, particularly with dealing with COVID. Today I'm going to demonstrate some techniques for producing a charcuterie board. That being said, when we're planning our holiday entertaining, I would like to stress the importance of maybe thinking of a way you could do it virtually, leaving your loved ones at their residence and experiencing, you know, hosting virtually. When that can't be done, take time to properly plan your events. If you can keep everybody in a small cohort, that's a new word for me. We seem to throw it around here at the ski club a lot, trying to keep everybody within your small group. So plan your gatherings to keep it small. Obviously, look at your provincial guidelines. Make sure you choose a house, say a nice big bungalow in Southampton would be perfect for entertaining. Make sure you have lots of room, lots of good fresh air, open windows if you have to. Make sure there's ample room. Host the event outside if that's entirely possible. That way, that's acceptable for large groups. Explaining all of your expectations before your guests arrive. So let them know all of your parameters before they come, and communicate that effectively, and maybe even go as far as to have your guests complete a daily health check. Might be a good idea. That being said, nothing beats proper hand washing. Sanitizers, have wipes available for your guests, and let them know the parameters, and when you can, socially distant. And if you can't, make sure that everybody is wearing a mask. So I've decided to do charcuterie, and how you pronounce that word is not charcuterie or charcuterie, it's charcuterie. So we've got some more guests. Yeah, so classically, charcuterie is made from whole muscles of the animal.
Really?
Usually pork or beef, cured meats. Some of the more traditional ones is bresaola, and that would be a eye of round cured with red wine beef, or lomo, which is pork tenderloin, often cured. So it's not raw meat, it's salt cured cold cuts. So
I'm excited to try this.
Yes, that being said, I've got a few accompaniments. Hey, Kevin, nice to see you. I should welcome my guests, Patty and Kevin, both people I'm very familiar with. Yeah, so charcuterie is basically cold meat, sliced paper thin, and usually salt cured. So when you're building a charcuterie board, some things that you could do ahead of time.
Start with a clean board.
Starting with a clean board, but one of the accompaniments that I like is an antipasto. Antipasto comes from the word antipasti, which is literally translated before the meal or before the pasta. So here's a small dish that I do ahead of time, and I will admit that I borrowed the idea from my wife Anne, who brought home a lovely jar of antipasta the other day, and it was quite tasty, and I thought it was such a nice dish that I would prepare my version here today. So we're going to move the camera now, so stay with. Okay, so turning the stove on, I've got some pre-cut vegetables, starting with a good olive oil. I'm going to heat the pan up, And I'm going to add my aromatic vegetables first, which is the Trinity or the Mirepoix. I've got some celery, onions and carrot, which is the aromatic vegetables. I'm going to let those sweat until I can really smell them, and they're going to, soften up just a little bit. And while that's happening, I'm going to swing back over and prepare some other vegetables for the antipasto as well. So when I'm working in the kitchen, safety is first and foremost, always. So I've got a green zucchini readily available this time in Ontario. When you're purchasing them, they should be nice, firm, green, with no bruising or blemishes, available at all the local grocers. And I've got some smaller comini mushrooms, which I've brushed off earlier. And again, this is just a small dish that we're making here. So, and all the vegetables have been washed as well. So I trim that off. And I want to cut this in a brunoise fashion, okay? I've got the spine of the knife, the handle, a full tang, a very sharp blade, and I always choose a longer chef knife just because it does a lot more work for you. I would slice my planks first, going in, okay? And then I would cut my batons with some classic French terms there. Okay. I'd spin the whole mass, and I would try to get them reasonably sized to be the same size as the vegetables that I've already cut that are sweating now in the pan. Okay. I believe all of these recipes that you see will be available on the internet, or I could circulate them for anybody who is interested. I believe that you guys have my email. A couple mushrooms, cut it in half. I know that these are really going to shrink up when they hit the hot pan. Okay. Okay. So this will actually be almost like a jam, if you would, for the top of the croustade. Fresh garlic, donated by the Hagedorn family farm, located in beautiful Craig County. Quick smash. Lovely stuff. Okay. A little butternut squash and peppers. To this, I'm going to add some tomato product. These happen to be Stanislaus tomato. Any quality canned tomato would be fine. To this, I'm going to add a touch of sugar, fresh herbs, about a quarter cup to a half a cup of vinegar, and a tiny bit of gelatin. Okay. Let this cook down on the back heat while I prepare another. Okay. That, And as always, we want to season for each stage of cookery with a little salt and pepper. And that'll just help heighten those natural flavors. Another fun condiment, if you will, is a red pepper jelly. Oh, sorry, this is a red pepper jelly. And we use this to spread on the croustade, and it accompanies the cheese very nicely. And it's a really fun and easy dish to prepare. And I'm going to just show you the basic steps for that right now. When I'm cooking, I always try and use quality stainless steel with a heavy bottom. Stainless steel is probably not the best to transfer heat, but it is one of the best to transfer heat evenly, okay? And with the heavy bottom, it doesn't scorch as easy as, you know, a lighter weight or non-commercial type pot. So always use quality cookware. So red pepper jelly. You guessed it, we start with red peppers. 4 cups of sugar. Okay. Good cider vinegar. Some of my flavoring enhancers. I use star anise, red chili flakes, black peppercorns, a little powdered ginger. And to that, I'm going to add about half as much water. And my Knorr gelatin, okay? I'm going to bring that to a boil, and what that's going to make is somewhat of a gastrique when you mix sugar and vinegar equal parts, bring it to a boil, and then we're going to set it in the fridge with our gelatin, and that'll be a nice little spread for your charcuterie board. So any questions from the audience so far on any of this?
Keith, that pepper jelly could have been made ahead of time, right? You could make that a couple of days ahead because of the vinegar?
Gotcha.
Okay.
I made mine well ahead of time, so I'm not going to try and rush through this and hopefully set it up, but I did make it yesterday, and here it is.
Ooh.
You can make this far ahead of time, and you can actually jar some up for your guests if you wanted. And that being said, so I think we're at the stage now to dress up our charcuterie board, but I have one more that I want to show you. And again, this is a very easy recipe to do. This is a little sheet of puff pastry, okay? And on this one, you can buy this at any grocery store. You can cut some long rectangular pieces, okay? And I like to brush these with a little bit of olive oil, or you could use egg wash, or you could use clarified butter. But what I'm doing is just making sure that it's well coated. Okay, so olive oil here. Yep, butter is good. And then to that, I'm taking a little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese. Okay, this is fresh cheese. And I'm just going to take these from end to end and twist them up into straw-like configurations, okay, that are really fun to bake in your oven at 350 until golden brown and puffed up. and it makes a really nice cheese straw, which is fun to use on your charcuterie board. It looks a little funky right now, but trust me when I tell you that when it comes out of the oven, they look something like this. Okay, so let's assemble this charcuterie board, shall we? Okay. All right, let me just get this stuff out of here. Okay.
You're gonna assemble it from this side?
Yeah, I can. Okay. You want to cook the vegetable antipasti all the way down until the vegetables are really, really soft. Okay. So this antipasto would probably feed 2 or 3 people comfortably, but you can make it any size that you want. Okay, so today I have capicola. I have speck ham, which is very similar to prosciutto, and I have a nice Genoa salami. Okay. Okay. Put our ham down. Looks good. Okay. Our spicy capicola. Some local farms that are available for some of them have lovely summer sausage and pork products. One that I have used in the past is Burdock Grove Farms. And we also have Farm Queen Foods on Highway 6. And she sent me a note yesterday letting us know that the summer sausage is in and ready. So whenever possible, try and go local. So I've shown you a few homemade options for crackers or cracker substitutes, but I can never get enough of the some of the gourmet crackers that are available in the grocery stores. Why not? I mean, it's easy and of good quality. These are a few homemade focaccia croustades. So I just slice that. Any artisanal bread would do, brushed with some olive oil and toasted. We always need some cheese, so I'm going to plug some Arla cheese here. This is called the Castello Tickler, and basically it is a very good old white cheddar. And depending on your preference, you can use like any cheese will do, really. I usually know my clients, so if you think you have a bunch of big eaters coming, prepare for that. But basically, I allow for approximately 2 to 3 ounces of protein or meat per person. And I would do the same for cheese. So, and I always try and cut the cheeses in bite-sized portions. And it's not a bad thing to count your pieces either, based on your guest sizes. And I always like to mix it up with a hard cheese and a soft cheese. Okay. So for the soft cheese today, I'm using some double cream French brie. Okay. A charcuterie board can probably, well, it's recommended that it doesn't sit out for any more than 20 minutes. So you want to make sure that you make these ahead of time, keep them in your fridge, but the food is best served room temperature. Okay. So I'm running out of room here a little bit, but there's my red pepper jelly. And it's always a good idea to include a little fruit garnish. Okay. So there's no specific, get back up here. There's no specific hard and fast rules with making a charcuterie board. I'll try and spoon up some of the antipasti. Yeah, why don't I do that? It looks good. Again, I would like to cook this a little longer to make sure that those flavors are well developed. And this obviously would be served cold. The sugar gives it a little sweet. There's a tiny bit of heat in there. And when it does cool down, it would set with the gelatin. And that would make it more of a spread. But again, oh, and here's our fun little cheese straws. This is getting a little, it's a little crowded on this platter, but I wanted to use the Beaver Valley live edge board that was produced for our 50th birthday party. I think it's a really nice board. These boards are also going to be available through the Beaver Valley Ski Club in operating, so you can pre-order it ahead, take it to your chalet. You know, so we're always happy and available to cater in chalet as well. So that being said, bon appetit. I would love to field a few questions just to you know, we're here for another 15 minutes if you want to be, guys. So
we could demonstrate how you eat it.
questions from Patty or Kevin? Nothing? Give me something, Kevin. Nothing.
Keith, where else might you find boards?
I'm sorry?
Where else might you find boards?
Leslieville Cheese Shop has some nice ones.
The Leslieville Cheese Shop here has some nice boards available.
Okay.
But you can find them all over. Like I've seen them in Owen Sound at like all over the place. It's quite popular.
Any
now.
farmer's market.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what your other contributor's saying.
I'm saying that the charcuterie boards or boards are available all over the place. Even if you had a decent cutting board, you could use that as well, or a tray, like a kitchen tray, a large oversized plate. But make sure your board is obviously big enough for the crowd that you're going to feed. I've seen charcuterie boards done on whole kitchen tables.
Wow.
That seem to go on for miles. So. So
Do you treat the board with anything?
I'm sorry?
Do you treat the board with anything? Like
These boards were treated with a food-safe oil. So it does put a seal on the board, so it's not porous and soaking anything up. They're treated with some kind of oil that's food-safe. Lee Valley has a product that they sell to do that. Mm-hmm.
So Keith, besides the charcuterie board, what are some other favorite foods that you like to have on hand for the holiday season, either at home or at Beaver Valley?
Oh, that's a good question.
Good.
We have lots of dishes on hand, like we do a lot of food to go program. We will have chicken pot pies. We have, prepared meals, ravioli pastas, lasagnas. We do a great roast chicken here. We do a breakfast burrito. But at home, I think that we want to, when I'm looking at the holiday season, we always like to have cheese and crackers on hand. We'll have shrimps, seafoods. I don't know. I'm kind of on the spot here to start rhyming off menu items, but the pantry at home is always loaded. We have fresh nuts, we have crackers, we have breads, lots of preserves. Interesting things like that. And again, when we're doing meal planning at home, we generally plan ahead and we look at who's coming to our functions and plan accordingly. Our go-to is a roast chicken dinner, which is always fun for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you seen changes in the way people in Grey Bruce have eaten over the past while since you've lived here?
I think Grey Bruce is coming into its own for restaurants and dining. Chefs are leading the way with local and farm to field dining, and there's lots of great restaurants out there for sure. How people are dining, I think clients and customers are demanding to know where food is coming from nowadays, and and information is at your fingertips. So they want to know the chef, they want to know the restaurant, and they want to have an experience and a story behind what they're eating. And there's lots of catchwords out there like artisanal, and there's lots of fun bakeries going on, lots of handcrafted foods. I myself am a fan of home cooking. Anything other than fast food, really. I like to get off the beaten path and find the independent restaurants and get out there and support them.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Do you skew, like if you know that everybody's going to be drinking beer, is there like a favorite type of food for that, or everybody's drinking red wine? Do you have something for that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question, Kevin.
If you've got, the crowd is going to be drinking beer, do you have a different taste on the board as compared to if everybody's drinking red wine or everybody's drinking white wine? Do you have preferences for that?
I would think if I was drinking beer, I would like to have a giant warm Bavarian pretzel with lots of salt, some mustard, and some fun something to dip it in, like a white cheddar cheese sauce made with a bechamel is what I would go for the beer crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
So what would you pair with the board that you just created for us?
I would offer a glass of Chardonnay or a glass of red wine. It would go great with beer. It would go great with water, fruit juice, a warm apple cider for the holidays, or a mulled apple cider would be great, mulled red wine. Any of the above would suit just fine, I think.
And what would you have as a sweet for, if you've got a mix and mingle sort of holiday? I know you have to keep it to 10 indoors. I noticed going past your house, you still got the garden furniture out for a nice space around the fire pit. What would you serve as a sweet to go with this sort of mix and mingle board?
Well, when I'm looking at serving a sweets outside by the fire pit, I think this year I would be looking for a single serve item, and off the top of my head, I would probably put a spin on s'mores and use an individual waffle.
Oh, yeah.
I would do a Belgian waffle maybe with marshmallow, and chocolate sauce. And instead of doing a traditional waffle, I would make it a cone and stuff it full of the sweets. So yeah,
Okay.
a waffle s'mores with fresh Ontario maple syrup, or
Mm,
yeah,
lovely.
lovely. Okay.
Pat or Kevin, do you have any other questions to offer to Keith?
Well,
You've answered everything, Keith. Our head is stuffed full of sensation.
yeah, I'm happy to help out, and doing this stuff just, cold is, you're going to hit a few bumps along the way, but
This one looked great.
I think it was fun, and
Yeah.
I hope you guys picked up maybe a couple tips.
Oh, for sure. There was lots of useful information there. Just don't let anything burn.
No, I don't want to. I was just shutting down the stoves because I don't want to burn anything.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much, Keith. And we'll get the recipes and post them on our library channel as well, or on our Facebook page.
Sure. I will send something over, Kim. And
Thanks.
Kevin, I really appreciate you guys making the effort to join us today. It's good, and let's hope for a nice, cold, snowy winter.
Well, thank you, Keith. I hope your holiday season is as appetizing as the stuff you've made for us today. Thanks so much for joining us and making this contribution. And will you thank the people that have been working with you there too? It looked like you were having fun at your end as well.
Yeah. Cindy and I always have a good time. We enjoy what we do. And in hospitality, we're here to serve people and guests, and food is a very personal medium.
Yeah.
Enjoy your holidays, be safe, socially distant, and have fun with your charcuterie board. There's no hard and fast rules, and support some local restaurants. And if you do a board,
Great. Can you give us one more shot of the charcuterie board then, and we'll say goodbye. And thanks so much to all of you. That's one gorgeous tray. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll join you next month for another Zoom in session from the West Grey Public Library.